we've talked about the toughest SOB in the WWE.
Yes.
We know the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, it is my honour and privilege and also to give him the new moniker of the most compelling man in wrestling history. Ladies and gentlemen, raise the roof for Mick Foley!
Just proved Brendan Burns a 22-year veteran of the comedy scene, and he'd been warning me for like a week, mate, don't let it get to you. You know, the Montreal, a lot of industry people, they won't react to anything out there. Well, man, it's midnight, this place is packed. I really appreciate the show of support. Not our intention, just, you know,
Mick!
yeah.
Mick, where are we?
Where are we?
Where are we?
We're right here in Montreal, Quebec. I bet if you give me the chance, I would have got my own pandering punchline in. I know a cheap pop, but I hear one. Hey, bring that cheap thing. You changed my mind on a couple things because I was so insistent on saying, hey, look, I do more than just do wrestling stuff. It's like 50-50, and if I go outside of wrestling, I always bring it back, and I talk about some lesson I learned through wrestling, like there was something wrong with actually doing a wrestling comedy show. And so finally I gave in, I'm like, it's a wrestling comedy show, all right? But when I was, I went in, remember, it was a great segment with JR. I was like, JR, do you think I got a lot of dates after that? Do you think a lot of girls wanted to date a boy who had worms on his breath? I was a good kisser! But I never got the chance! What was I gonna do? Practice on a pillow? And I tore chunks of hair out of my scalp. And people asked me, how'd you do it? I was like, there's no secret. I tear chunks of hair out of my scalp. Took inhuman punishment for decades, and meanwhile, all I had to do was find out about this guy with the bath salts. And all of a sudden, you can write off a horrible-looking body because everybody knows you got superhuman strength, impervious to pain. And I know my time has passed, but I see this, I mean, I see big money, and I know some of you might be newer to wrestling than others, but I see a guy like Damien Sandow doing that intellectual thing, and he's a fine wrestler, but not as fine as he'd be if he overdosed on bath salts. And you just play up the bathing theme. Like I said, it doesn't matter, it has nothing to do with bathing, it sounds like it does. You send this guy out with a terry cloth robe, partially open in the middle, his balls hanging out, just digitalized, got a pair of flip-flops, soap and a rope around his neck. You guys aware what soap and a rope is? It's actually soap on a rope. First bathing product officially geared to the male prison population. And I see it, this guy being unstoppable. Maybe even bring Vince McMahon back for some of that great subtle commentary he used to do. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! He's eating his face!
Nick Bockwinkel and bath soaps! Oh my God!
Hit him with a little bit of music, please. A little bit of music, a little bit. Come on. Help me out here. There we go, there we go.
That's my brother.
All right, thank you. That's about enough of that, okay? But I appreciate your
Enthusiasm?
Enthusiasm, yeah. It's misguided, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I just see Vince McMahon coming back, and I know for a fact that, you know, in the 80s, WWE used to hand out like an extra $100 to guys willing to lose their ponytail. Back in the age of the mullet, when everybody had a ponytail, they would lose their ponytail to Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And if they're willing to give up a ponytail, 3 years of hair growth, for Brutus the Barber Beefcake, then the least they can do for the business is lose a couple chunks of flesh out of their face for bath salts, man. And I'm gonna tell you, you put out the flesh-tearing bath salts, man, against the jizz-dripping rapist, Randy Orton. Brother, we've just booked our next 2 WrestleManias.
How you doing there, Stone Cold? Ladies and gentlemen, Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
Thank you very much. Forget about Daniel, son. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin, son. You're damn right.
But Daniel-san, something seemed to be wrong. What's bothering you, Stone Cold?
I am not happy because, Mr. Miyagi, I am pissed off. I am over the limit angry right now because I don't understand one thing. I don't understand, Miyagi, why you've had me in here week after week, day after day, jerking guys off like there's no tomorrow. I mean, these mealy, loud, smelly sumbitches walk on in there, lay down like a bunch of bale of hays and ask me to play with them, and you think it's okay, son. I don't, and I'm a little bit pissed off about it.
Well, Stone Cold, Miyagi say everything and not as it seems.
You're telling me about that, son. What?
Stone Cold, look Miyagi eyes. Look Miyagi eyes and show me work the shaft.
As much as I hate it, I'm gonna show you. As much as I hate doing this,
Stone Cold, no problem. Everyone here worked shaft at one time or other. This man worked more shafts than elevator repairman. This lady celebrated birthdays seen more shafts than West Virginia mine safety inspector. This guy seen more shafts than Richard Roundtree, DVD holder.
Okay. You're going a little too far. You went to the well one time too many, son.
Maybe so, Dan.
Shades of good old JR.
Show me work the shaft.
Okay, I'll show. Not that I want to, but here's how I did it. Hey, you like that? Huh? Yeah. You throw a little ball tickle in there. That's what you tell me to do. Not that I'm happy doing it, but okay, Miyagi.
Stop. Miyagi liked ball tickle very much. Very much.
I remember.
This is not a house, no shaft. This is a big shaft.
Okay, we've got time for one more question. What's your name? What's your question?
Elan, and I don't know if anyone here knows the story of the way Vince would key Jericho up when he would rip on Stephanie in the ring.
I don't know if this was all the time, but this goes hand in hand with the writing on my hand, because I was the commissioner at a time when WWE started doing like the 25-minute opening segments that would involve sometimes a cast of 16 or 18 people in the ring. And as commissioner, I had to know what other people were going to say, because I was kind of like the moderator. And so I would go out there and I had words on my hand, just like 5 or 6 of them. And my mother asked me one time, she said, Mick, geez, you guys talk for so long, like how many days in advance do you get those words? And I said, days? She said, how many hours? And I said, hours? And she goes, well, when do you find out? I said, Mom, there are times when the pyrotechnics are going off and the music is playing and we still don't know what the hell is going on. So you think about like the adrenaline rush of the live television, pyrotechnics, the music, and then there was Vince this one time, I don't know if it was all the time or not, I have to ask Chris about that. He was like, no, Chris, when you get out there, don't forget to call Stephanie, who is his daughter, a bottom-feeding trash bag, hoe buckets, please. And Stephanie was a good friend of mine. I was like, I didn't say anything, but he saw it and he was like, yeah? I said, Vince, that's your daughter. He goes, you know, Mick, there's nothing I wouldn't do to get a pop in this business. Bernsey, we got time for one more question.
I have a question.
Right up the back. Okay, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Jesse.
It's about Al Snow
if I
and
tell
you
you
did a
clothesline in the jaw
you
and
put
British
Al Snow in a
Bulldogs, what do you remember of
suplex
that
and
match?
exposed his balls.
Shut up, mate.
Sorry.
All right.
Did you hear clearly?
Well, let me hear
All right. If I say to you clothesline in the jaw and British Bulldogs, what do you remember of that match?
Oh, very, very little. That was my second match, and I remember. Again, I hope you guys will allow me to drop another F-bomb, because to be accurate. When the Dynamite Kid, not way before the clothesline that ensured I couldn't eat solid food for 3 weeks, when he dropped a headbutt on me, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And how could something possibly hurt this bad? And then he clotheslined me across the point of the jaw, and that's just the way he did things, you know. And it also didn't help that I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'd only had one match, so I may not have actually been very good, although I felt like I was at the time. It was the next day that my parents came to see me in Hartford, Connecticut. They'd been at the match before. My mom had read a book for like 3 hours and 58 minutes, aside from the 2 or 3 minutes that I was getting the living crap beaten out of me. And she asked me a question, and it was like, man, there was just nobody home. And that was not my first concussion, but one of my first. And my mom did not watch another match live, like until the end of my career. Apparently it was a sticking point, because my brother would, he would tape all the pay-per-views, and my mom would then want to watch them. And when she asked him for the tape of the Hell in a Cell, he wouldn't give it to her. Like, no, Mom, I want to see it. No, you don't. I want to see it, and no, you don't. He withheld the Hell in a Cell for the sake of my mom. But that was a miserable, miserable match. But he was in my book, and I've written several of them. He was one of the all-time greats. And now, sir,
Okay.
I just don't have time to tell the story about Al Snow in Montreal.
In the suplex, and then you exposed the balls.
All right.
It was the best.
You know what? I'll tell you what, when I leave, you can go outside and tell everybody the story. All right? But if I may, and I don't want to be preachy, and I don't want people to say, oh, who does Mick think he is? But I want to leave people on a, you know, with a substantial note, something that I can get better with a clean conscience after saying. And it's short of signing some type of paper, maybe just a nod of heads, I want you all to agree not to try to do the things that professionals do on TV. Some of you have the idea, you look at it, it looks fun, and it can be when you're properly trained.
Until you get hurt.
But there's a reason why the people who do it are professionals. They're trained, and so please just promise me that you won't make your own home porno videos. Let's just say that in IDAP, some things are better left unseen. My wife and I did a very rudimentary fantasy sequence culminating with a very easy sex act that many of you will perform on yourselves tonight. I dressed her up as a hitchhiker, rented a '79 Ford Fairmont, and it felt good. It felt good while it was happening, and then we watched it together. And for the rest of my life, I have to live with the fact that my wife has gigantic hands. Thank you very much.